What's up, YouTube? Welcome or welcome back to the Saving Men's Lives Network, where all men and boys are welcome and our issues are treated with the respect they deserve, where excellence is our goal, place to remind you that you are loved, that you do have intrinsic value, and to suggest that you do yourself no harm. And part of that is coming from a place of what happened just a couple days ago. I want to offer you fellas a warning because I care and I want to see you win. And part of winning is making the right decisions in who it is we allow into our circle. A few days ago, gents, we lost one of our brothers because he didn't heed such advice. In Prince George County, up in Maryland here in the United States, officers were dispatched to 6102 Floral Park Road in Brandywine on August 20th for a report of a person trapped under a car. On scene, they discovered the body of Shamado Abdullah Clark laying underneath a black 2016 Honda Accord registered to Udell Andrea Burno, suffering severe trauma throughout his body. Despite the best efforts of the EMTs on staff, Clark was pronounced deceased at the scene. Investigators advised that there did not appear to be any signs that the driver braked prior to striking him. They also observed several prescription drug bottles sitting in the center console of the Accord. Witnesses told police that Clark and Burno had been in a relationship for the past few years. The pair were in a serious car accident about 6 months prior and had broken up, but had recently started dating again around 2 to 3 months ago. The witnesses said that on August 20th, Clark and Burno left the residence, and when they returned, the witness heard a loud commotion outside and went to investigate. The witness saw Clark laying underneath the Honda Accord and Burno near the driver's door, attempting to lift the car off of Clark. Turns out that she hit the man and then had a moment of self-reflection and tried to lift a 3,000-pound vehicle off his body. Gentlemen, I'm telling you this story for a couple different reasons. One, to offer my condolences to the Clark family for our lost brother. And also to warn you guys about the danger of allowing crazy women into your lives. Because, and my father, bless him, he gave me advice back in high school, and I had to edit this for YouTube, but he gave me the advice of ain't no coochie like crazy coochie. To a degree, he's right. The crazy girls, the ones that are a little off, a little wacky, they are, in my experience, and probably yours too, a lot more promiscuous. They are a lot more down to try. Again, for YouTube, I gotta calm this down, but they are a lot more willing to try certain positions other girls would be hesitant to do. They're all for it. In fact, sometimes they'll suggest it to you and it's their idea. So for a lot of guys, to find a female that's down for you, that's down for any position, down to do it anywhere, anytime, for your average guy, because it's so difficult for most guys to get women, they see a female like this and they're all on board. The problem is, because every coin has two sides, with that promiscuity, with that asexual exploration mindset that she has, often comes some very, very dangerous underlying behavior traits and flaws. This woman was on head meds. And a lot of women in the West are. She's on psychiatric medication. Was she taking them? Who can know? Was she taking them in their proper amounts? Who can know? But we do know that she got so upset with Mr. Clark that she decided the best way to deal with that was to get in her car a 3,000-pound weapon made of metal, plastic, rubber, and glass, and run him over and park the car on top of him. And the EMTs couldn't do anything to save him. All because he chose a woman initially he should have never said hello to. And whatever the reason for the breakup was, he decided to go back. And that's the real challenge here. The real challenge, fellas, comes in we have to know when enough's enough. We have to exercise dick discipline and leave the past in the past where it belongs. See, they're not your ex for no reason. And I know she probably rocked his world in the bedroom, but it wasn't worth his life. And it's not worth yours either. This man's family, his friends, his coworkers, the people who loved him are now left to mourn. Mourn a young man who had his entire life ahead of him. Who knows what kind of promise he had? Who knows what type of impact in the world he would have made if he chose his women better? If he took the time while dating her and being involved with her, focusing on himself, focusing on building up his community, focusing on raising money for his retirement fund, focusing on building up a business, focusing on being the best employee he could ever possibly be and climbing the corporate ladder that way. Who knows what might have happened for this young man? But now we'll never know. Because instead of a bright future, all he has to look forward to is a pine box buried 6 feet under. I do not want that to be you, fellas. If you start seeing the warning signs, if you start seeing women behave in an irrational way, if you start seeing them do things that are absolute red flags, that set you off, that set off your spidey sense, for those of you guys who watch Marvel movies. You know, if you're dealing with a female who is behaving in a fashion which you're not sure what to expect, you don't know what to think. Every time you turn around, it's yet another accusation. You're turning around, and every time you turn around, it's another situation, another opportunity for her to tell you what you're doing wrong. She's rifling through your phone. She's doing any and everything that makes you think she doesn't trust you. So pardon the jet noise, fellas. We're over here near an airbase. If you've got a woman in your life who is making it more difficult to be with her than the comfort and ease you feel being away from her, then it's time to cut bait, reevaluate, and put her on her route. Now, if you think she's crazy enough to do what happened to Mr. Clark, I would suggest doing it from a distance. By phone, hell, mail her a letter to your last known address right before you move out of the place. But do what you can to place barriers between yourself and crazy people. If you have to increase your income to move out of the crappy neighborhood you live in because all the women around there are just as garbage as the neighborhood itself, then focus your time not on women, but on your money. Get your money up. Move out of there. Move across town. Move to a place where the people are a little better behaved. If you have to, head down to the post office. Get your passport and leave this cesspool behind entirely. Go overseas where the women still behave like women. For some of you guys, that's not even a good enough option. For some of you guys, you need to focus entirely on yourselves and your biological relatives and your friends. You need to focus on work and the gym. And the women can come or they can go. You care not. But whatever you do, fellas, however you do it, please be safe. Please be careful. Vet these women. Listen to what it is they have to say. Because if you let women talk long enough, they're going to tell on themselves. They're going to tell you they're a maniac waiting to be unleashed. They're going to tell you that they threw plates at their last boyfriend because he didn't turn the channel fast enough. They're going to tell you that they snore loud enough to mistake people outside walking past your apartment for a chainsaw running in your living room. They're going to tell you these things, but you have to be smart enough to keep your mouth shut long enough to let them tell you. Identify the red flags, fellas, but never collect them. Be safe out there. Watch your back. Protect your neck, because it could very well be the woman who's sleeping next to you could be the instrument of your demise if you're not careful. That said, that's my time, fellas. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell icon to be notified when I drop a new video. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. Again, our sincere condolences to the family of Mr. Clark, and may his untimely demise be a well-learned lesson for all the men in his community, as well as this one. Share this content with a friend, a family member, a brother, a young man who you have mentorship over, if you think he can benefit from what we discuss here. Never let your brother suffer in silence when the truth can set him free. Until next time, fellas, the Saving Men's Lives Network. Plenty more to come.